Be attentive. The reason why I'm talking about all these things and how the power of God works, I've already jumped into the word of their testimony, which they overcame, through which they overcame the word of their testimony. When it's the word of their testimony, I'll keep coming back to the blood. When it is the word of their testimony, they overcame him by the word of their testimony. Word of their testimony, I can give you two interpretations of the word of their testimony. It's either the word of their testimony is what they were saying, testifying. The word of their testimony. Okay, what they were saying as they were testifying, the words. When a word is given in form of a testimony, that's the word of their testimony. And there is the word of their testimony in the case where the word is himself. Okay. He is the word. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was what? Was God. Okay, he is the word. So when it comes to the word of their testimony, it's in reference to the God of their testimony, the Jesus of their testimony. You overcome by attaching God to your testimony, by the word of their testimony. Their testimony is emanating from their God, not the devil. They overcame him by the word of their, by the God who was the word. The word was by the God of their testimony. Making sure that you attach God to every victory. You overcome the enemy when every achievement is traced back to the word, back to God. Oh my God. So when it comes to testimony, let me tell you something. I would want you, all of you people, please look at me here. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I want you to get this part. I want you to get this part. When it comes to testimony, are you looking at me? Yes. Thank you. When it gets to this part where a testimony is to be shared, testimony, when you're about to give a testimony, God has revealed to me that it takes more of his power for a testimony to be shared than for a miracle to be performed of that testimony. Hear me. It takes more of God's power even for a testimony to be properly given. It takes more of God's power for a testimony to really come out well. Than the power that was applied in the performance of the miracle. That blew my mind. That blew my mind, please. That blew my mind. That blew my mind. I know if we keep on going back to scripture, I will lose it. I know when I'm walking on wire. Hear me, child of God. Hear me. I could not believe what I was hearing. He said, it takes more of my power to be present in order for a testimony to come out well than for the miracle to be performed. I said, what is this? And he referred me back to most of the testimony. He said, look at what I would have done for the person and look at how the testimony comes out. There is more presence of the devil during the giving of a testimony than during the performance of the miracle. The devil will resist the testimony more than he resists the miracle. He will allow God to do it for you, but he will not allow you to talk about it. Be seated, please. It's a miracle for these people here, the doctor and pastor, to be able to take us into minutes and minutes and minutes, more than 30 minutes, just giving a testimony. It's not easy. It calls for more of the presence of God. For just the testimony. Why? Because the devil knows how you will overcome. It is by the word of your testimony. So I was asking the Lord, so why does the devil fight the testimony that much? And the Lord was revealing to me that he has an understanding that once a testimony, once a miracle is performed, and the testimony of that miracle is given properly, adequately, thoroughly, that testimony has an ability to duplicate itself. Whatever is testified, once that testimony comes out well, during that same moment, as the testimony is coming out, that same miracle is happening. So when the devil is fighting a testimony, he's fighting the production point. A place capable of reproducing. The devil wants people to keep coming to church, but the devil doesn't want people to then get to see and believe that God is doing a work. Keep them in doubt. Hide the testimony. This is why sometimes, even if I give you an opportunity right now, you know God has done a lot for you, but I invite you here, come and testify. In 3 minutes, you are stammering. You don't even know what to say. You're just saying, this God is amazing. This God is amazing. Amazing where? Tell us where He's amazing. We also want to be amazed. We want to join you. You can't bring it out. Why? There is more of the presence of the devil in the giving of a testimony than when the miracle is really occurring. Because the devil knows that if you can testify, then your brother next door, who is going through the same situation, now his faith is activated, and the same miracle can happen, and another testimony follows after that. I'm telling you this today so that you understand that the devil fights a testimony more than he fights a miracle. I can give you example after example after example. Look at how difficult it is for you to demonstrate love and thankfulness. But when it's anger, a gift is given to you, you say, I don't even know how to what? To thank you. But if I'm to insult you right now, you know how. You know how. There is a vocabulary, a jargon, English. You become a linguist. Somehow, it's in your blood to respond to negativity. It's a revelation of the blood. You'll never grow up being trained by your mother on how to be thankful. Testimony. 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 There is not even a single person here, present here today, who can honestly say, I don't have a testimony. That's a lie. You are testifying a lie. That testimony is a testimony. You are lying. You just need to testify. Be seated, please. This, when people tell you that, you should be very, very careful. Some of these churches, when you go there, they will steal your money. Be honest. This church is different. Yes, there could be churches that specialize in taking people's money, but not this one. This one, we specialize in raising the poor. You were broke. You be honest. Be seated, again. Be seated. Be seated. Be seated. What we do here is we raise the poor first. And any government that is capable of creating an environment which is good for people's businesses to survive, that government has a right to come back and ask for taxes. Not all of it. Taxes. Because they are responsible for the creation, not even of the business, the environment for the business. And that is not stealing, according to the Bible. To think that God himself, your God, has authorized the government to come and get your money because you are surviving in their environment. Church is an environment. Church is an institution. Church is a government. The government shall be upon his shoulders. So we create that environment. We saw you when you were coming. Whether you came, you were standing or you were seated, I told you. I saw you.
With my height, I saw you.
You can't hide. You can't hide. You're coming from suffering. You are coming from suffering. Can I tell you something that is so mind-blowing? You see, do you know that somehow, if your life is to portray lack,